welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Ashley. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and join the beauty family. So today's video, this is going to be a little bit of a series. So I'm going to highlight some of my favorite items for 2022, whether it's eyes, complexion, lips. So we are going to start off with eyes today. So these are all the eyeshadow palettes that I used faithfully, okay? 2022, honey. Some might be limited edition. I'm sorry. It just so happens to have been limited edition, but I do want to be honest about the palettes that I have been using. Some are affordable, some are a little coin, but you know, it's up to you in terms of like what you feel like you can purchase if you do want to purchase. But yes, these are all the palettes that I'm highlighting. Some I've done reviews on, some I have not. However, these are 100% my thoughts and no one else's. So let's get into it. These are in no particular order, honey, but we are starting off with a banger, okay? This is Luna Magic Beauties, this Nudes palette. Oh, I mean, I've already used this in a tutorial. I've used this in Instagram Reels, honey. The pigmentation is there, okay? It is, this palette is amazing. Like, these are all the colors that I use on a daily. Like, the pigments, hello. Like, do I really need to say anything else? No, nothing else is needed. This palette is gorgeous, very affordable, 100% worth it. Definitely have used this 2022 and will continue to use this. But yes, if you're looking for a great beginner palette, something affordable, great pigment, this is your girl. Bomb palette. I will continue to use this. Y'all know I love me some neutrals, so that's usually why I gravitate to palettes like this. I do have some palettes with color, but you know, I love me a good gold, a copper, some shimmer, champagne. So yes, this palette is definitely a must. Listen, none of these videos will be a video without mother. Let's be honest, okay? This is the Bronze Seduction palette. I actually use it on my eyes today. Love this palette. These are the colors. Y'all definitely need to snag this when she had her sale, honey. The shimmers are just like immaculate. Like, I just don't understand how. Like, how'd you come up with this formula, mother? Because this palette is like sensational. Look at this shimmer. It is absolutely gorgeous. But I love this palette. This is a staple palette. If you're looking for a beginner palette from Pat McGrath, this is definitely the palette to get. Bomb. Next up, our girl Huda. This is the Huda Beauty Empowered palette. Now, I did do a review on this, and I included all of my swatches, and I've definitely used this for a couple other looks, but this is the palette. It is gorgeous. I love all of these shades. It is 100% worth it. Like, the shimmers, like come on, these are just, this palette is just decadent. Look at the pigmentation. I feel like this is a different formula because I have her Desert Dusk palette and it's a little bit different. It's still pigmented, of course. It's a nice palette, but I feel like she added a little razzle dazzle in this formula because this palette is bomb. I was skeptical because of the price, because she's up there, you know, because I know Mother's over 100. But Huda was, you know, tipping almost on that 70 mark. But this palette was worth it. It's gorgeous. I do revert back to this and use this faithfully. Bomb.com. So next up we have Colouredraine's Rebellious Nudes palette. I've already told y'all about this. This was definitely one of my current favorites. Look at all of these shades. They are so pigmented. The mattes are always what I gravitate towards. The shimmers, not so much. I dipped into them maybe like once or twice, if that. But it's really the mattes. I love this arrangement of nude matte colors because I can always dive into this palette if I'm looking for something. Like, they have like a burgundy in here. There's a black. There's just like this caramel. Like, there's just a vast array of nude colors that are so beneficial in this palette. So this was definitely a good buy. So Anastasia, honey, Anastasia Novina, girls, y'all were in the lab cooking up something special, honey, because this Rose Metals palette is, honestly, aside from the collaboration palettes that I have from you guys, my Jackie Anna palette, of course, this palette is top tier. Like, I really need y'all to release another one of these. This palette was absolutely gorgeous. Like, this, I can't get enough. Look at how gorgeous these shimmers are. The pigment is insane. I love it because it could just be like a subtle, like a soft, grungy glam. And then if you wanted to pop, you can add some glitter glue. Not that it's even necessary because it pops on its own. But oh, this palette is just, everything is buttery smooth. I feel like I'm talking about food, but I'm really talking about eyeshadow formula. But Anastasia and Norvina, y'all killed it with this Rose Metals palette. This was most definitely worth it. I would purchase it again if I needed to. I really like this palette. If you don't have it and you're into these colors, you like a lot of shimmers, good formula, you don't have any Anastasia palettes, this is definitely a good buy. Next up, we have a collab palette. I do have my other collab palettes that I use, but I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it a lot, so I want to bring out palettes that I've mostly been using this year. But the Dose of Colors times Shayla collab, definitely, this was a cute palette. This is a good buy. I really like this collection. I use all of these colors faithfully. Like I said, the only one thing I wish that this color was a little more on like that reddish brown side. It looks one way, but swatch is another. The palette is still gorgeous. Like, this is still a gorgeous palette, and I definitely feel like it's very versatile. You could definitely do wedding looks, regular glam, whatever type of looks you're looking for. This is definitely a great palette. And the lipstick, oh, that's gonna be in a separate video, but Shayla and Dose of Colors definitely did a good collaboration. I'm obsessed with Dose of Colors shadows anyway. The Friendcation palette is one of my favorite palettes. I have not featured in this one because that one's limited edition. I only have one and I'm trying to preserve it. Okay, so I break that out for special occasions. But the Friendcation palette is off the chain. Dose of Colors, I really hope that y'all bring that back. We need it, okay? If I knew it was limited edition, I would have purchased it too. But I am obsessed with that Friendcation palette. But Dose of Colors eyeshadow formulas are top tier. The foundation, like, they have a lot of great products. But if you have not tried out Dose of Colors, whether it's complexion or shadows, but mostly the shadows, definitely take this for a spin. Okay, so I'm a sucker for packaging, and this is the second to last palette we are featuring today. So this is the Mothership Utopian palette. I kept the packaging because it's gorgeous. There's a lot of effort that went into this, so of course I kept it. So I love this. I think I just kept eyeing this for the longest. Like I said, Pat McGrath's eyeshadow formulas are top tiers. Like, y'all know I love me a good pink. I love a good shimmer. Like, these are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Like, come on now. Like, do I really need to tell y'all? Like, look at how beautiful these look. Like, I didn't use any glitter glue primer today for my eyes. I just simply tapped it on my lid, and it's just, this palette is so versatile. I think Pat McGrath's formulas and palettes are versatile, period. But you can just tap this on top of like a matte shadow. You can do like an inner corner. There's so many looks that you can do with this palette. There's golds. Like, this palette is just gorgeous. Like, as soon as I laid my eyes on this, I was like, I gotta have it, okay? If you do not have a Pat McGrath palette, I definitely think the Bronze Seduction palette is a great starter palette. But once you venture off and you want to be a wild person, you can definitely do the Utopian if these are your colors. If not, check out her other palettes. But listen, Pat McGrath delivers in the eyeshadow department. It is limited edition. I'm sorry it's limited edition, but oh, this palette. This is the Pat McGrath Mothership Mega Celestial Odyssey Artistry palette. I always get tongue-tied when I say that. I don't know why. I'm not sure, but this, I just always gravitate to it. So this palette was actually gifted for me for my birthday. Thank you again, Fame. He gifted me this palette. Actually, he has it too. But I think I dive into mine more than he dives into his. But I use this all the time. Like, oh, this palette. I don't know if this is like a different formula from her other ones. But just like this one shadow in here is like my absolute favorite. Oh, there's this green. Like, I can't even begin to like swatch all of these for y'all. Like, look at how beautiful these shimmers look. I just don't understand. I think that's what really leaves me so like breathless Like, this palette takes my breath away. I absolutely love it. I don't need to jump into any other palettes with this. It has a deep enough brown for me. The only thing is it doesn't have black, but I don't really need a black for this with these shimmers and these colors. But I have like colors for the spring in here. I have colors for the fall. I just have, this is like a good year-round palette. It's so versatile. There's so much you can do with this. The mattes are outstanding. Look at all of the shimmers. Like, this is one of my favorite palettes to date, okay? Definitely one of my faves. But yeah, like I said, Pat McGrath's formulas, chef's kiss. I don't know if this one's different than the others, but oh, they just pick up so beautifully, even without glitter glue primer. I definitely used this palette for a look when I went to the J. Cole concert last year for my birthday. I don't think there was any other palette that I thought about diving into, because this, like, the shimmers, like, they just popped. It was just gorgeous, like, just absolutely flawless. Love, love, love this palette. And I'm so sad it was limited edition. This was her holiday one, so definitely check out her holiday palettes. They are different from her regular palettes that are here year round, her permanent palettes. So yes, this was last year's holiday palette, and she had a new one this year. I didn't check it out because I felt like some of the colors were similar to this one, but they are at a different price point, okay? This was cheaper than her permanent palettes, but if not, just as good, if not better. So beauties, I hope you all enjoyed my 2022 eyeshadow palette wrap up. So these are some of the palettes, as I said, that I've been using throughout the year. Some of them are new releases, some of them are throwbacks, but I have been gravitating to these the most throughout the year. Like I said, I do have some limited edition ones that I always dive into, but I did want to highlight these, something a little bit different. So thank you all again for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions down below, if you have any of these palettes or plan to be picking them up. And as always, thank you all for the continued support. Until next time, thanks for watching.